I'd been mapping abandoned mines for most of my adult life, and nothing about that work frightened me anymore, or so I believed. Darkness, isolation, bad air, unstable tunnels, they were all familiar companions. But nothing prepared me for the Beckett shaft. It wasn't even supposed to exist. There were no records, no surveys, nothing except a rumor among old miners who still remembered the town before it died. According to them, Beckett shaft was sealed long before anyone alive today was born. The reason? It didn't stay empty. I laughed when they said that, until I found the entrance. It was hidden deep inside an overgrown ravine 2 hours from the nearest road. The metal doors had been bent outward, as if something inside had forced its way out. I assumed it was vandalism or natural decay, until I noticed the marks along the steel. Not claw marks, not tool marks, something smoother, like the metal had been pushed by something soft but immensely strong. And still, against all logic, I went inside. The first 100 meters were normal, collapsed beams, dripping water, the smell of ancient dust. But deeper down, the air changed. It wasn't stale or foul. It was thick. As if the darkness had waked. My boots echoed strangely on the stone. Each step sounded delayed, like the cave had to think before returning the sound. I tried to ignore the feeling that the tunnel behind me was slowly pulling itself shut. Eventually, I reached a chamber that was too circular, too smooth to be man-made. The walls looked sculpted, or worse, grown. My flashlight reflected off faint rings in the stone, concentric, uneven, but undeniably intentional, like ripples frozen in rock. I approached, touching the wall. It was warm. And then I heard it. Not a sound, more like pressure shifting inside my skull. A slow, rhythmic vibration. At first I thought it was my heartbeat. Then I realized the chamber was breathing. I should have left right then. Instead, I stepped further in. There were tunnels branching from the chamber, each narrower than the last, spiraling downward like roots. My flashlight flickered as if struggling against something in the dark. The deeper I went, the more the walls changed. They weren't stone anymore. They were something else, porous, fibrous, organic. The deeper layers looked like muscle tissue petrified mid-spasm. At some point, I noticed there were no spiders, no insects, no bats, nothing alive. Not even mold. It was absolute biological silence, until I found the carvings. Human shapes, etched or melted into the walls, contorted faces, stretched limbs, sunken eye sockets. At first I thought they were statues. Then one of their mouths twitched, just a little, just enough. I froze, but the face did not move again. Hallucination, I told myself. Bad air, paranoia. But the deeper I went, the more faces appeared, hundreds of them, fused into the walls like fossils, all wearing the same expression. They were listening. I reached another chamber. This one was huge to belong underground. My flashlight beam got swallowed long before hitting the far wall. The floor pulsed. Just once. A slow, tidal contraction beneath my boots. I staggered back, and the light fell onto something, a shaft in the center of the chamber, descending into absolute blackness. It wasn't a pit, it wasn't a hole. It was a throat, and something inside it whispered. Not with a voice, with movement, faint, wet, shifting waves of motion deep below, like something vast turning in its sleep. I wanted to run, but my legs wouldn't move. My mind flooded with images that weren't mine. People digging, finding something, touching the walls, and then dissolving into them, pulled in, absorbed, flattened into screaming masks. The mind didn't collapse decades ago. It ate them. Something woke beneath the earth, and the miners became its lungs, its nerves, its memories. And now it wanted more. A soft sound broke the silence, not from the pit, from behind me. Something peeled itself off the wall. It wasn't a person, not anymore. Its limbs were stretched impossibly long, joints bending in ways bones shouldn't. Its skin was grey, wet, thin as paper, over-twisting fibre. Its mouth hung open, and inside I saw nothing but darkness. The same darkness as the pit. It wasn't looking at me. It was listening to me. Listening to my breath, my heartbeat, my thoughts, and others were waking up. The walls around me began to ripple, the faces softening, stretching, pulling themselves free, all of them converging toward me. I finally ran. I don't remember how I escaped the tunnels. The next thing I recall is crashing out of the entrance into daylight, gasping like I'd been underwater. I drove until the car nearly overheated. I didn't look back. It's been 3 days. I haven't slept. I can still feel the rhythm beneath my feet. Slow, patient, hungry. Sometimes, when everything is quiet, the floor of my house vibrates, just faintly, like something enormous is breathing far below the foundation. I hear something else, too. Not a voice, not a sound, a summoning. It remembers me, and it wants me back.